What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update and third stimulus package update. As we are at the finish line with the third stimulus check bill, it's at the U.S. House of Representatives being voted on. I'm going to give you the latest details of it in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. And don't forget to smash the like button, and let's jump right in. First up, the Fed has extended the Small Business Aid Lending Program, known as the PPP or the Paycheck Protection Program, which goes to small business owners and has had multiple rounds of this passed from the first stimulus check package and the second stimulus check package, and even some of the other minor stimulus packages. They have now extended this by 3 months. You can qualify for the Paycheck Protection Program if you're a small business owner or if you have a side hustle or a side business, even if you're not incorporated. If you literally have side income where you get 1099 or you're a gig worker, you're not a W-2 employee, maybe you have your own small little business, you sell products on Amazon like my wife and I do, or you drive Uber, you drive for Lyft, you're maybe a hairdresser and you get 1099, you can literally qualify for a paycheck protection loan that is forgivable, which basically means it's free money. It's stimulus money to small business owners. You don't have to have an LLC or anything like that, although that's okay if you do. But if you basically have side income, the IRS probably considers that a side business, and you are the employee, or you can be the only employee. You can have more employees, but if it's just you or just you and your wife, for example, you guys are considered employees, and you can use the Paycheck Protection Program to pay your employees paychecks. As you can see here, ahead of its expiration date on March 31st, the Federal Reserve Board announced on Monday that it is extending the Paycheck Protection Program liquidity facility through the end of June, allowing continued distribution of funds through the PPP to small businesses. While the PPP itself is set to expire on March 31st, since the Fed's liquidity facility will allow for banks to continue pledging loans made through the PPP as collateral to the central bank through June 30th. This will help small businesses receive aid since banks won't have to worry about taking on the risks associated with giving out the loans themselves. Remember, these are forgivable loans, so as long as you use it for their criteria, you literally get to keep the money and you get to write off your expenses. It's like a double bonus, it's like a double stimulus for anybody that has any type of side business or side hustle. What I recommend you do is contact your local bank, whoever you bank with, or any bank in your city, and ask them about applying for a Paycheck Protection Program loan for your small business. Even if it's just a side hustle, if you get 1099, you likely will qualify and could get thousands of dollars through this program. In fact, any loans under $150,000 that the government gives you has a quick, simplified forgiveness process. They literally make it easy for anybody that gets under $150,000 through this program. So trust me, apply. Worst case scenario, you get denied for whatever reason, but apply for this program. The money will be running out, and well, it's basically free money, and you can thank me later. This third stimulus check relief package would cut taxes for the average American by over $3,000, a new analysis says. The third stimulus check relief package that President Biden is expected to sign into law, possibly today, I'll get to that here in a minute, would cut taxes by the average person by about $3,000 in 2021 and would have the biggest impact on after-tax incomes for low and middle income Americans, according to a new analysis released on Monday by the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center. The analysis focuses on four major provisions in the bill: the $1,400 direct stimulus payments, and the expansion of the child tax credit, that's $3,000 to $3,600 per child, and that will be paid out in monthly increments of $250 to $300, likely starting in July. There may be a process to go through that, and I'll walk you guys through how to do that when we get more information about that on this channel. That's $3,000 to $3,600 per child, and that's in addition to the $1,400 stimulus checks. The earned income tax credit, that's for people without children, although you could have children too, earned income tax credit, and the child and dependent care tax credit for child care. Those with incomes under $25,000 would on average see a 20.1% increase in their after tax incomes for 2021. The biggest percent change of any income group, according to the analysis. Households in the middle of the income distribution, with incomes between roughly 51,000 and 91,000, would see a 5.5% increase in their after tax take home income. Howard Gleckman, a senior fellow at the Tax Policy Center, says, quote, simply in terms of whose taxes are cut, the bill is in stark contrast to the 2017 Trump tax cuts and Jobs Act. Now, the third stimulus check package bill is at the U.S. House of Representatives. They're literally debating on it right now, setting up for a vote here at any minute. It could be here within the next hour, it could be here within the next few hours. Remember, this bill has already passed the U.S. Senate and is now going to be voted on today by the U.S. House of Representatives. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says that the third stimulus check will not have President Biden's name on it.
On whether or not he wants his signature on there like former President Trump demanded?
Well, we are doing everything in our power to expedite the payments and not delay them, which is why the president's name will not appear on the memo line of this round of stimulus checks. The checks will be signed by a career official at the Bureau of Fiscal Service. This is not about him. This is about the American people getting relief, almost 160 million of them.
Now, there is some preliminary good news on the vote in the U.S. House of Representatives. Remember, they can only have 4 Democrats vote no out of the 221 Democrats. If 5 Democrats vote no and they don't get any Republican support, which is what happened last week when the House passed the bill, but now they're voting on a re-amended bill that had the $15 an hour minimum wage taken out, the stimulus check income cap reduced, the $400 per week unemployment extension has been reduced down to $300. Every single Republican voted no on this package, and 2 Democrats voted no also. So literally passed the House by the slimmest margin. The absolute most that can vote no from the Democratic side is 4 Democrats. If no Republicans vote yes, and they get 5 Democrats to vote no, it'll be a tie vote and it will not pass. They can only have at most 4 Democrats vote no and still pass this bill. So literally razor thin margins. Well, some good news is Representative Kurt Schrader, a Democrat from Oregon, who initially voted no on the third stimulus check package last week, he was one of the 2 Democrats, says that he will vote yes this time around in the Senate's version that is being voted on today by the House. So that's one more vote that they have gained. Kurt Schrader writes, tomorrow I will be voting in favor of the American Rescue Plan to provide targeted assistance across the country. My concern remains on the size and the scope of this bill, but I believe that the Senate changes provide meaningful relief for Oregonians in need. He continued saying, funding for our local governments, small businesses, schools, families, healthcare providers, and an extension on the unemployment benefits will be a lifeline for many. And investing in vaccine distribution, testing, and development is a critical juncture at this point when coupled with President Biden's accelerated vaccine production. There's much work to do moving forward, and passing this legislation is an important step. So that gives the Democrats one more vote of a buffer. However, there's question on how many Democrats might vote no for several reasons. Number one, the bill's significantly different than the bill they passed last week. They removed the $15 an hour minimum wage, although in fairness, they kind of had to. The Senate parliamentarian said it can't be in the bill and passed through the budgetary reconciliation process, which is the process they're passing this to basically get the bill passed because there's no Republican support. So without that process, they can't pass it in the Senate with the normal 60 votes that you would need, called the filibuster process, to pass a normal bill in the Senate. And the $15 an hour minimum wage was voted down in the Senate as an amendment, 42 to 58. All 50 Republicans said no, and 8 Democrats. So that really has kind of made some Democrats in the House upset that it's not in there, but I think they're going to have to get past that because there's at this point no way to pass it in the Senate with the minimum wage bill. In fact, there's almost no way to pass the minimum wage even as a standalone bill after at $15 an hour, but I think they will be able to pass it at somewhere around $10 or $11 an hour, and that's one of the first bills we'll see after the third stimulus check package passes. But Democrats are also upset, and it just depends on which one and who and how, quote, progressive they are, that the unemployment was reduced from $400 to $300 per week, and the stimulus checks were reduced from $100,000 for an individual to $80,000. And a lot of Democrats are upset that President Donald Trump at the time was able to pass stimulus checks to people earning up to $100,000, and then President Biden will only be able to pass it up to $80,000. That will actually cut out about 15 million people. It's around 10 to 12 million adults and 3 to 5 million children, their dependents, who will not get a stimulus check this time around. And, well, a lot of people literally blame Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat from West Virginia, being the sole person who may have had to make that change. And the Democrats had to do that because of the razor slim margins. They literally passed it in the Senate 50 to 49. And without Joe Manchin's signature, without his vote, it wouldn't have passed. However, because of that lower unemployment instead of $400 per week to $300 per week, as you can see here, the next COVID bill will provide a tax waiver on up to $10,200 of unemployment income that you've earned. So basically, this is for the year 2020. It's actually retroactive. We might see in one of the future stimulus packages, such as the Build Back Better package, the next package coming out, they might do this again for 2021. We'll have to see in the future. But basically, if you earned unemployment money from the state or from the federal bonus in 2020, up to $10,200 of that money will be not taxed. So basically tax free. This will likely be a $1,000 to $2,000 extra stimulus bonus or stimulus check for you if you had any unemployment money in 2020. We don't know how to claim this yet. Remember, it's got to pass the House today and go to President Biden to sign. Once it's signed into law, we'll likely get more information from the IRS and the Treasury. I will then keep you updated. If you've already filed your 2020 taxes, you may have to file an amended tax return. Don't do that yet. It's not even signed into law, and I will keep you updated with the details. But also is that the IRS might come up with other procedures. They might have a way to automatically figure it out and just send you guys out additional refund checks if you had unemployment income last year, or you may have to fill out a one-page form or something along those lines. As always, I will keep you up to date in the future when we get more information. So the U.S. House of Representatives is actually on the floor right now debating and going through the procedures that need to be done before the vote. This is kind of the checks and balance of our legislature. So they can't, they're doing this right now. In fact, by the time we have the next video, we literally may have the decision on this vote on this bill, whether it's passed or not. In fact, President Joe Biden says that he will sign this bill as soon as he gets it, which could be as early as today as well if they get the bill over to him as fast as possible. Now, assuming that it passes and the House doesn't make any amendments to it, they don't change the bill. Remember, if they change the bill, then it has to go back to the Senate because the Senate and the House have to pass the same exact bill. So God, hoping that all that happens and it passes today, when will the checks start going out? Well, once President Biden signs it, if you remember from the last stimulus check bill, the second one, direct deposits started going out within a few days after the third stimulus check. So we literally could have checks by this weekend. I will keep you up to date with that as well. But as you know, even direct deposits and checks in the mail, they go out in waves. Sometimes you get the first wave and you get it within a few days. Sometimes it takes a week or two and then you get it in a later wave. The second stimulus check, a lot of people had a lot of delays. Some people got it like literally a month later or more. We also had delays from TurboTax and Tax Act and Jackson Hewitt, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Also, the IRS is dealing with tax returns at this point right now also. So we'll have to see if there's any delays. I will keep you updated. If you're on a paper check, literally a check in the mail, the snail mail, well, that's going to be a slower process. It's called the snail mail for a reason. Direct deposit is always faster. They literally just do it through a computer. They don't have to print anything. They don't have to put it in envelopes. They don't have to send it to the post office and then send it to you. Can't get lost, all that good stuff. I recommend if you're not on direct deposit where it just gets sent directly into your bank account, it's not only safer, but faster. It can't get lost in the mail. Do that in the future. If you haven't filed your 2020 taxes yet, set yourself up for direct deposit. It literally just appears in your bank account one day when the refund comes. So do that in the future if you can. It's much safer and faster. If you're on paper checks, checks aren't even expected to start going out until a week after President Biden signs it at the earliest. So I will keep you up to date with all this stuff, any potential delays that come up, as well as coming forward. We're going to have President Biden has been he campaigned on several things that are now going to become more popular. Number one, the $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. President Biden has said multiple times he's willing to do at least 10,000. Chuck Schumer and other Democrats are pushing him to do up to 50,000. And Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Majority Leader, says that he can literally do this through a presidential executive order. In fact, the third stimulus check package bill does have a provision in there for student loans, although it doesn't have student loan forgiveness in there. What it does is it makes any student loans that are going to be forgiven in the future, in the next 5 years, that it won't even be taxable money. Normally, if you get money like that forgiven, in this case, student loans, you would have to pay taxes on that money. So if you get $10,000 of student loan forgiveness, you would have to pay $10,000 in taxes. However, they already put a provision in this bill that you won't even have to pay taxes on that. So they're literally setting up student loan forgiveness to happen in the near future. I'll keep you up to date on that, as well as the Social Security increase that President Biden campaigned on. And Elizabeth Warren, who we just seen on that screen, is a co-author of the bill, along with Senator Chuck Schumer. As you can see here, Senator Chuck Schumer, who is the Senate Majority Leader, and Elizabeth Warren unveiled plans to increase Social Security benefits by $200 per month for all Social Security beneficiaries. After they pass this third stimulus check package, we're likely going to see a lot of movement on this, the student loan forgiveness, as well as the $15,000 home buyer credit that President Biden campaigned for also. As well as we also have dozens of Democrats in the Senate and the House already pushing President Biden to include monthly recurring stimulus checks or monthly stimulus checks every single month in the next stimulus package bill, known as an infrastructure bill, which is called the Build Back Better bill. They're already pushing Biden to include monthly recurring stimulus checks in the next package after this third stimulus package passes. So yeah, this is literally only the first package being passed under President Biden. There's many more to come. President Biden himself has said that there will be stimulus checks and stimulus packages until the pandemic is over. So we'll keep you up to date on all these things going forward. Make sure to subscribe down below. If you haven't yet, it's completely free to do so. Click on the bell icon to all notifications so you get notifications when we go live with new videos, which right now is at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not miss the next video, which will be at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, because we literally just might have the package pass, and I'll be giving you more details about everything, the checks, and all that good stuff once it passes. So you can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Me and my wife sell products on Amazon. So click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.